prepare as thoroughly as you can. The guys play their asses off.
Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs. You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game. Another game.
Listen, we're talking about practice. Not a game, not a game, not a game. We're talking about practice.
You probably won't say it again.
I bet I do.
Okay.
Chris?
If you want to crown them, then crown their ass. But they are who we thought they were. When we let them off the hook.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Gather around, Skull brothers and sisters. This is Skull Rants, brought to you by Minnesota Sports Talk. I'm your host, Dave. You can follow me on Twitter, TikTok, and Facebook at Skull World. Make sure you subscribe, like, leave a comment. Leave a comment, enter to win. If you're subscribed to the autographed Justin Jefferson jersey when it reached 3,000, I'm almost at 2860 now. Let's go. Let's go. Awesome. Thanks for keeping me on the air. Now, hey, there just to update of some off-season stuff, and then I'm gonna go over an article by Adam Seifert. Just some things here, some things that popped out as aggregated by the Purple Persuasion. This is brought to you by Seifert ESPN. All of which, let's see, according to Adam Seifert, cornerback Kyrie Jackson has a legitimate chance of significant playing time if he can put together a strong offseason. Quote, all of which gives rookie fourth-round pick Kyrie Jackson a legitimate chance for significant playing time if he can put together a strong spring, summer. Jackson would be one of the NFL's tallest cornerbacks at nearly 6'4". Recently, I'm on Twitter. I see something. He's getting used to his new number, not 5 anymore. I'm like, cornerback 1, my prediction. This guy is going to eventually take over and be our cornerback 1. I'm that excited about this guy. I don't know about you. Tell me in the comments, what do you feel about Kyrie Jackson, man? Also, Alec Lewis, love this guy. I'm going to try to get him on my show. I just saw that he was on Luke Braun's show. Hopefully he can come on mine. Per Alec Lewis, he sees Vikings cornerback Byron Murphy and Shaq Griffin in the base defense with Caleb Evans and Griffin on the outside and Murphy in the slot for nickel defense to open the season. This is, again, aggregated by Purple Persuasion, but Alex Lewis apparently said this in an interview somewhere. In base 2 receiver sets, Byron Murphy Jr. and Shaq Griffin would likely man the spots. In nickel 3 receiver sets, the Vikings would likely start with Griffin and a Caleb Evans on the outside and Murphy on the inside. Mekhi Blackman, Kyrie Jackson, or another cornerback could exchange Evans. So, as long Kyrie Jackson, if he gets a chance, he could take over. But right now, as we saw in OTAs, the number ones are Caleb Evans, Mekhi Blackman filling in, and then you got Murphy goes to the inside in nickel, and he stays on the outside in 2 receiver sets. So that's what we're looking at there. What else we got? Here's some, according to Alec Lewis, if healthy, Vikings outside linebackers Jonathan Greenard and Andrew Van Ginkel are the starters. He notes outside linebacker Dallas Turner will start off a rotational piece with possibility of being an every down player towards the back half of the season. Here's a quote by Alec Lewis. Turner would begin the season as an interchangeable pass rusher on the edge. This is what I was thinking, and I haven't read this yet, but this is what I was thinking. Greener moves in when we pass rush. Greener moves inside, and then they bring in Dallas Turner on the outside. That's my thought. Let's see what he thinks. Turner would begin the season as an interchangeable pass rusher on the edge, but I also think defensive coordinator Brian Flores would deploy him on third downs and in additional exotic packages. Turner would likely ascend to every down status, even playing off the ball. I like it. I like it a lot. Now, before I go to an article here, because as you saw, I think my thumbnail is Sam Darnold shines in shorts. So we'll talk about that. While Alec Lewis this is again aggregated by Purple Persuasion. While Alec Lewis fully expects Vikings wide receiver Justin Jefferson to sign a contract extension, he does note that if a deal is done, not happen, a deal, if done, let me start over. Wide receiver Justin Jefferson he fully expects wide receiver Justin Jefferson to sign a contract extension. He does note that if a deal does not happen, it's because Jefferson's camp is more comfortable accepting another year of risk that's taking a deal it's not excited with. Here's the quote: "If the Vikings and Jefferson do not come to terms, it might be because Jefferson's camp is more comfortable accepting another year of risk than taking a deal it's not excited about. The longer Jefferson waits to sign, the higher his value is likely to be. But at the same time, the longer he waits to sign, the more risk and injury that affects his value." I don't see injury being a huge issue unless some crazy crap happens in minicamp. Who knows? Maybe he holds out. But deal gets done. I don't think it goes into camp. You lose your value. Every day that passes, it would be one of those side. I think he goes and then he just works off on the side. We saw it with TJ Hawkinson. Of course, legitimately he may have been sick with ear infection, but I the thing is, the only reason I say give him the money is because if is an insurance policy. Number one, he's a great target for our rookie quarterback. Number one by far. Number two, if for some reason said rookie quarterback does not pan out, big time trade value with Justin Jefferson, we can reset the franchise with that. We'd still be in play. We still, we got, Jordan Addison. We can use those picks to draft. All those things would be on the table if we sign Justin Jefferson. So the fact that he apparently is looking for Bosa type money, like $35 million a year, it's a little crazy. That's what Kirk Cousins was making on his contract as last year. $35 million was his extension. So that's a lot of money to a receiver that touches the ball 8 to 12 times a game. All right. But I want to see him play. I don't think this contract lets him retire a Viking because it's going to be astronomical on the back end. Looked for Justin Jefferson to be a Viking for 9 years, maybe. Just that he's going to price him out of, when he starts getting older, he's going to start pricing us out of being able to afford him. And they're gonna backweight that contract. It's not going to be fully guaranteed. They'll have an out. But I think he's a Viking the next, for sure. I want to say 3 years if we sign him, for sure. So that means you would have him for 7 years for sure. I don't know what you think. Tell me in the comments what you think. How long is it going to be? Randy Moss over again, where he doesn't retire a Viking. It would be sad, but God, the money is too crazy, man. But hey, sign him now so we have him. He's a big asset. Two things could happen. We got a big time. We got him for the next 4 or 5 years working with JJ McCarthy, or if JJ McCarthy, God forbid, doesn't work out, we got him as trade value. So that's my thought process on that. You may not like it. And here's the quote that spurred me to do this video. Per Rap Sheet, he's told Vikings Sam Darnold usually shines in the offseason because he's unbothered, but when he's in games, he's not always the same. He's also noticed that JJ McCarthy has a lot of talent and isn't sure how long Darnold holds him off. So that's my big story. Sam Darnold looking good in OTAs, every video, crisp, good footwork, everything that you want in a QB. Can he take that to the field? He is not being rushed right now. Can he do it? That's the big question. My hope is he can. This is me. This is unbridled me talking to a listener, and he actually came on my show. Chris Wallace. I'm like, Chris Wallace, if you're listening, I'm telling you, man, I think this is him. I'm telling you, man, I think Sam D is going to surprise a lot of people. He's definitely starts day one. We're going to come. I think he meant come out of the box swinging. I said, looks great in shorts with no rush. That's what I said to him, but I followed up. I hope the best player wins the job, plays awesome, and never gives it up. There you have it. That's me wanting that quarterback to be successful, not give it up. But hey, I am Kevin O'Connell. Do not hesitate to pull the plug and go a different direction. Even I'm talking about a win and you played terrible. We may need to move on the next game. That's the kind of thing I'm thinking. I think relatively short leash, not like first game played take him out. No, I'm saying, hey, let's see what we got next week. See how he changes up. See how he builds in the offense. Gets comfortable. Unfortunately, he's not able to throw to Justin Jefferson. But anyways, let's talk about article written by Seifert here. Let's go through it. Let me scroll back up. It's by Kevin Seifert. Sometimes he makes some interesting suggestions. Yeah, like I think he said we upgraded at quarterback this year. Yeah, not happening. Egan, but hey, we'll read his work anyways. Egan, Minnesota, the Minnesota Vikings search for a new quarterback consumed much of their energy and all the public attention around them for the first 4 months of the NFL offseason. Behind the scenes, of course, the Vikings were working on more than simply transitioning from Kirk Cousins to a combination of Sam Darnold and rookie J.J. McCarthy. What happened? There you go. They swapped out their starting running back, releasing Alexander Madison, signed Aaron Jones. They remade their defense front by signing free agent edge players Jonathan Greenard and Andrew Van Ginkel. I just talked to him. I live in South Forest. Just talked to a Miami fan. They loved Van Ginkel. He says, you guys are going to be so happy with this guy. Apparently broke his nose on the sideline, and they said, pack it in. Get me back out there. Pack it up. Get me back out there. So drafting Dallas Turner at number 17 overall and locking into a new pair of inside linebackers with free agent Blake Cashman. Sorry, can't get rid of this cough. And rising star Ivan Pace Jr. They even made plans to field a new kicker after 3 seasons with Greg Joseph. So it was understandable to see Coach O'Connell flash a genuine smile on the first day of rookie minicamp earlier this month, knowing it was time to move on from planning stage of evolution mode. It really exciting, he said, to see the whole process kind of come to a head and see these guys wearing purple out here and starting to begin the process, their growth and their journey. As the Vikings move through months worth of OTAs and mini camps until mid-June, let's take a step back and consider 5 observations of their roster. Get ready to hear a lot about Sam Darnold, your QB1. The public anticipation McCarthy is understandable. Top 10 picks usually get on a field quickly, and nothing about Darnold's playing history suggests he should be handed the starting job. Astute observation, Seifert. Astute observation. However, behind the scenes, Vikings have uttered different versions of the same thought. They signed Darnold for a reason. Expect O'Connell to use the same approach with Darnold he did upon inheriting Cousins in 2022, building him up through positive reinforcement at every turn. He made the Pro Bowl the year before. All right, or like 2 years before he made the Pro Bowl. The Vikings don't view Darnold simply as someone that can play it if McCarthy isn't ready for week 1. It's more accurate to understand him as a player. The Vikings believe they can compete when McCarthy moves to an organized developmental plan that prioritizes his long-term future. Does that mean the Vikings have ruled out McCarthy as their week 1 starter? Of course not. But they want this extension to be organic based on his own aptitude and readiness rather than forced by lack of alternatives. I want the best player to win the job. And if it's McCarthy, put him in there. If it's not, sit him. Simple as that. But give me every opportunity. And I am talking also about Nick Mullins. If Nick Mullins is better than Sam Darnold, then boom. For instance, if you go put Sam Darnold in there and if it's the Raiders game all over again, you got to go with Nick Mullins. You just got to go with him. I have no doubt that he can move the ball. No doubt. Both of them are terrible at turnovers. So one knows the offense. I'm just saying. You know how I feel. But again, Sam Darnold, you look good in shorts, man. I'm not going to lie. You look good in shorts. You're all the physical tools in the world. That's why I kind of laughed when asked during rookie minicamp how we will evaluate McCarthy's individual throws. I know some folks may be keeping track of completions and interceptions and things like that. O'Connell said too early for that conversation. I can tell you that much. Number 2, there's a perceived need for a number 3 wide receiver, but from the outside, it makes perfect sense to wonder about the depth behind Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison following the free agent departure of KJ Osborne. After all, the Vikings have used 11 personnel and tight end, 1 running back, 3 receivers on 70% of their snaps in the first 2 seasons of O'Connell's tenure, 8 highest in the NFL. Do they have a number 3 receiver on the roster? Yeah, they do. They stepped only modestly into free agency market, signing journeyman Trent Sherfield to a deal that fully guaranteed him $1 million. ESPN's Bill Barnwell recently suggested the Vikings signed free agent slot receiver Hunter Renfrow. He was a great route runner. But at the outside of the OTAs, there's indication they want to gauge the progress of their internal depth. At the top of the list is veteran Brandon Powell. He was so clutch last year. Right now, he's the front runner, in my opinion, who built significant credibility last season during the most extensive playing time of his career. A converted running back, Powell caught 29 passes for 324 yards, including winning touchdown in Week 9 against the Falcons. He re-signed a 1-year deal, guaranteed him $625,000. I like him. I like him a lot. I just wish we had bigger receivers to come in, but hey, I'll take him. Veteran N'Keal Harry remains on the roster, and Vikings have several receivers. N'Keal Harry's still on the roster. No kidding. They have been trying to develop behind the scenes for the past years, including 2022 6th-round Jalen Naylor and longtime practice squad member Tristan Jackson. O'Connell had also mentioned the progress of 2 players from the team last season, various capacities, Thayer Thomas and Malik Knowles. Thayer Thomas ran a 4.7 out of college, and he was a punt returner in I think Appalachian State. Jalen Naylor, if he could stay healthy, N'Keal Harry has all the tools, and he has great. He catches the a back shoulder throws good. I like N'Keal Harry, man. I do. I don't know. He didn't stay healthy. The cornerback position is fluid, to say the least. The most recent information we can provide is the Vikings are hoping to fulfill the original plan for Byron Murphy Jr. when they signed him a free agent last year. Their idea was to use Murphy as a nickelback whenever an opponent had a pass catcher lined up on the slot, push him to the outside against 2 receiver sets. But because of injuries and performance issues elsewhere, Murphy lined up outside 71% of the snaps over 14 games in 2023. Not a problem this year. Got a little more depth, so we just talked about that. There are plenty of candidates to fill those 2 spots required to make that happen, but most of them come with questions, at least start OTAs. We already talked about this, so I won't. Obviously, Kyrie Jackson, I think eventually be our outside corner. Right now, you're looking at when they go to nickel, Murphy moving inside, and Evans and Shaquille Griffin on the outside, Mekhi Blackman working himself in. But who's going to make the team? Who's going to make the team? Is Booth Jr. going to hold off McLaughlin? I don't know. We'll see. The left guard is Blake Brandel. I like this guy. 6'7", though. It's crazy to be a guard and be 6'7". Vikings have yet to re-sign Dalton Reisner, who took over the position from Ezra Cleveland last season and started the Vikings' final 11 games. Reisner is still a free agent and thus could return in theory, but it's not. It's worth noting the contract the Vikings gave Brandel in March. They could have simply given him a restricted free agent tender and then matched any offers he may have received, but instead they signed him to a 3-year deal that will pay him $3.25 million this season. That's not obvious starting money, and there is value in locking him down reliable depth at multiple positions as Brandel's provided over the past few seasons. But it's enough to think that Vikings project him as having a strong potential to be more than a backup over the next few years. Yes, he's cheap guard. Okay, he's a cheap guard, and I like him. I think he's almost as good as Reisner pass protection, in my opinion. Vikings signed veteran Dan Feeney, who started 65 games in his career, to a deal that would pay him $1.8 million this season. They drafted Wake Forest guard center Michael Juergens in the 7th round. They were excited. They honestly want to pick him at 177. We picked him way late. And they drafted Wake Forest guard in the 7th round, but the Vikings believe Juergens' best position is center, and Feeney likely projects as a backup at this point in his career. nice flexibility. I was worried about center. Apparently, Juergens might be our backup center. Who knows? Maybe start. We'll see. We'll see. And we need someone nipping at Bradbury's heels, and he gets it often injured. So there you have it, Juergens. Potential for 2 new specialists. It's not out of the question that the Vikings will turn over 2 or 3 specialist positions in the offseason. All-pro long snapper DePola remains in good standing. $1.2 million. That's a lot of bagels, man. A lot of bagels. However, he owns a bagel shop. However, the Vikings drafted kicker Will Reichert at the likely replacement for Joseph and signed free agent Seth Vernon to compete with incumbent punter Ryan Wright. Now, that's not much I heard about. Seth Vernon. I'm going to have to do a video on punters because Ryan Wright regressed big time. Vernon hasn't punted in the NFL regular season game, and it will be some time before we know whether he has the capacity to win the job, but it would be wrong to assume Wright has assured the spot, especially after last season. Wright's percentage of punts that were down inside the 20 dropped from 43.2% in 2022 to 27 last season, ranking him number 30 in the NFL. He is well liked in the building, and he's a good guy. Yeah, and his throwing ability enhances threat for fake punts. He can throw. That is true. That is a good point. I hope he keeps the job. But even if Vernon is not a serious contender, there will be other options this summer after the conclusion of the UFL season and during the roster and training camp. Hey guys, tell me what you think, man. Tell me what you think about all this I just dumped on you. It's big. There's a lot of news coming out, man. There's a lot of people are saying some stuff, and I'm here for it. I wanted to get these. You notice I've been a little more steady with videos. This is good. Tell me what you think. Make sure you comment. Tell me what you think. Like cornerback situation. Sam Darnold, does he look good in shorts? You know, all this. Who's the third receiver? All that. Give me who the third receiver is. Who's the fourth receiver? That's up in the air for sure. Skol Vikes. Cue the music.
You prepare as thoroughly as you can. The guys play their asses off.
Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs. You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game. Another game.
Listen, we talking about practice. Not a game. We talking about practice.
That you probably won't say it again.
I bet I do.
Okay.
Chris?
If you want to crown them, then crown their ass. If they are who we thought they were, when we let them off the hook.